Hello, everyone. I hope that everyone is trickling in. We had some kind of a technical issue, but the show must go on, especially if you're in the finance world. And so everyone's going to start trickling in. I see we have Kelly, we have George, we have Matthew, Tina, Sherry. Thank you. You know what? I hope you guys were busy doing something making you money. And thank you so much for being here today. So let's get right into this. We have people here, Alan, David, Doug, Hubert, Janaya. Thank you again. So let's jump right in. Smart financing for every flip or vacant renovation. And so fast, flexible financing for new and seasoned real estate investors. And if you cannot stay until the end for any reason, although I'm going to jam through this because I respect your time, then please take a screenshot right now and contact the person who invited you to this webinar. Or if you would like to contact JJ because there wasn't somebody who invited you, but you might have it on email or something or text, just get back to them. Or you can get back with JJ and his information is here, JJ VanderJagt, and his phone number is 928-302-8485. So what to expect from this webinar? Well, we are going to talk about how this unique flip loan is great for realtors, rehabbers, landlords, and proven home builders. It's a great tool to stay ahead of the market. And so we can discuss how you can make $50,000 or even up to $250,000 extra in the next 12 months. It's really amazing. I cannot wait to share it. So again, I'm really happy that you guys are here. I will also go over Templeview Capital's 3 other loan programs and how they all work together. So that way you can go from one to the next and make sure that you're keeping money in your pocket and not getting into a situation where you don't have cash. So, what are the frustrations today? Well, we know that if you see a property on the block that needs work, and you can force equity into it and turn it into something that's updated and beautiful, 1 to 4 units. I mean, basically, people see these, right? You see them, and you just need access to money quickly and something that is profitable for you. So that way you can refinance it or you can sell it and make money there. Now, you need a full-time private money executive. In my opinion, it can be frustrating not to have a full-time person who's not available to answer your calls or emails. And so that could be a little frustrating, but you don't have to worry about it at Templeview. You need a proof of funds letter from hopefully a direct licensed lender like we are. And then also you want great rates, great points, cash flow while the property is under construction or it's vacant. And then again, hopefully a licensed lender because there are so many people out there right now who maybe are not. And Templeview Capital is. We've been in the business for nearly 20 years with our parent company and then nearly 10 years under Templeview Capital. And so, what's the current market reality? If you ever go on social or you go to groups, you might see a bunch of people trying to broker money to all kinds of lenders. And some of them actually never issue the wire. Now, you might work with other lenders who do, but we want to offer you better rates, terms, and niches. And so remember, if you cannot stay, please take a screenshot right now and circle back with the person who invited you to this webinar or JJ. So who qualifies for one of our vacant renovation loans or our flip loan, aka flip loan? Well, they need to have had residential property ownership. Maybe it's their primary home. Maybe they bought something free and clear and they've had it for 12 months, like a second home or another property. And so they've had something in the last 3 years. No recent foreclosures, which is protecting investors and protecting borrowers alike. And then our credit requirements is 600 and above. Sometimes we want to see above 660, so the higher the score, the better. Now, about me, my name is Kirsten VanderJagt. I've been in the business for 23 years doing real estate and loans. I am a licensed real estate agent in the state of Arizona. And I have been with Temple View Capital for 18 months. I love their product mix. Before coming here, I had and have a housing foundation, Katie's House Foundation, and you can see that here it's a 501c3. We do financial literacy for teenagers during the summer, and then previous to that, we would do adults when we can, but they're working and things of that nature. And then we do like group homes, for lack of a better term. We call them boutique shelters. Temple View Capital does not finance those, their roommate housing. But if you're making $50,000 extra a quarter, if you have a full-time job or whatever it is that you're doing and you can make more money with Temple View, then of course that is something that you can get into. I offer a full 12-hour class on my YouTube if you want to learn about setting up your own 501c3, including, an attorney who can do that. I also, of course, do private money and DSCR loans here full time. I absolutely love it. And you guys can go to my YouTube there. You can find me at Kirsten VanderJagt essentially, because I do find deals. I get deals all the time, like hundreds of them every day. They just go in a box. I can't keep up, quite frankly. And so I sometimes will go on my YouTube and run the numbers and say, does anyone want this deal? Please, I'll give you a loan and go make yourself. I think one was like I don't know, it was like $1 million, but it was a ground up construction. So that's when you get a little bit more advanced and you want to start buying dirt. And that was a luxury property ground up construction. But anyhow, I want to say that it was like 2 million, but that sounds pretty crazy, but that might be right. So I have been an underwriter for many, many years. I've been an auditor. I've been in sales, and that's enough about me. Let's talk about you. My kids, of course, and my family. I do this for family, of course. Now, flip or vacant renovation loan highlights, 10% down, guys. That's not very much skin in the game. So if you find a $500,000 deal and you put 50,000 into it out of your self-directed IRA, or maybe you have it sitting, I'm not sure, but maybe your friends all throw in and you put it into escrow. So basically we're looking at financing 90% of the purchase price. And then we also want to finance the construction. So that way you guys don't have to, or women or whomever is in your group, don't have to worry about that. And so for most loans, again, we're going to be at 10% down on the purchase price, and we want to finance your renovation. And then we look at 75% of the future value. So if you think that it's going to be worth $1 million after you do some work, $100,000 in renovation, we'll lend up to $750,000 against the 1 million projected future value. And so you can look and pull comps on what you plan on doing, and you can see what has sold nearby within a 15-minute walking radius. And that's a good way to know. No income documents, right? So that's great. No employment verification, no tax returns. Please, we don't want them. Don't give them to us. Other places ask for them. Some other places don't even know what they need. Some brokers and some people in the business. We do. That's what's really great about Temple View. No loan payments. Again, we're waiving off your asset statements so you can enjoy no loan payments when you finance the loan payments. So you don't have to have reserves. I know that pretty much every other lender, it doesn't matter who they are, almost always, like 100%. I don't know anyone who doesn't ask for reserves. We will finance them for you if it fits in the deal. And then you don't have to make monthly payments. So it's pretty amazing. That's a true no doc loan in the way that it's no income, no employment, and then no asset statements. So that's why I'm here. Really, and advanced construction draws. For investors who have 3 flips plus 2 other residential properties in the last 5 years, then we will consider doing advanced construction draws. When I say consider, we look for what's called an anchor property. And so that means normally you have something that's very similar to what you want to do. So if you're asking, to do a model match to what you already did, that would be amazing. And you would just want to do those over and over again, right? And that's how our investors, the investors that we work with, they definitely do get up to that caliber where they are having, 4 flips a month or 1 a quarter. because once you get really comfortable, then you just set it and forget it kind of a thing other than watching your contractors. If you are a contractor, of course, you can make a lot of money with us. So fix and flip or fix to rent or fix to refinance, right? So it doesn't always have to be where you flip it on a sale. It could be where you just refinance it into something else. And to us, I mean, we have a great bridge loan, which I'm going to talk about in a minute. We have a great rental loan. But some people will, if you're a real estate agent listening, I just want you to know that you probably, have a lot of buyers shopping out of their price range, and our loan could make it so simple for you and them to buy a fixer upper and force equity and then refinance, and become somebody who can force equity and make money on these transactions. And again, refinance out. So basically, we do 500 grand or $500,000 if you want to cut your teeth and give it a try in a major metro. That's where we lend, is major metros. Or we do $5 million if you're seasoned. So you've done a few of these or several of them. So basically, as you get more under your belt, we give you more money. We can do, again, up to 10 million aggregate at one time. 90% of purchase price, 100% of construction, as long as it fits in the future value of the property. No loan payments with finance reserves, advanced draws, where we fund the purchase, give you some money like 2 days later so you can get started, which is also pretty much unheard of. No prepayment penalty, really, really important. And then refinance into a bridge or a DSCR loan for cash out at current value on day 180. So remember, if you can't stay at the end, and we have more people actually trickling in, I'm so happy to see that. Just take a screenshot. I respect your guys' time. It's depending on where you're at, could be a little bit late. So make sure you get back with JJ or the person who invited you to this webinar. Please take a screenshot and contact them if you would like to move forward with finding out how much money you can get. And so what makes our loans different? I already told you guys, we focus on the property, not your personal finances. We don't want that. We don't want your personal financial statement. Please don't give it to us. We don't want your tax returns. We're not going to call your employer. We're not going to contact the IRS and ask for your tax transcripts. No personal debt to income ratio. You could have 10 cars, student loans. We don't care. So that's amazing because almost everyone else does. And then credit scores from 600 and above, although 660 is preferred for like the main person. And again, no government red tape. So if you're used to dealing with banks and they're asking you for all kinds of stuff, just forget that. No reporting to your personal credit. So as long as you're paying as agreed, we don't want to report to your personal credit. We close loans in a new or seasoned LLC, LP, or Corp. You can just set that up with LegalZoom in any state. I think Arizona, Wyoming, there's like plenty of states that are very inexpensive annually. And that allows us to, not report to your personal credit report, which is so important to keep that credit score up. And again, your personal debt to income ratio, when you go to buy a house for you and your family, right? You don't want all your investment properties on there. And if you go to a normal lender, that's what they're doing. And just once you level up, you just don't do that anymore because you don't want to commingle your business stuff. Of course, if people slip and fall or drown in your pool, that's also another reason why you would have an LLC, LP, or Corp and separate out these kinds of things. And we offer price match considerations. I think it's really important to say that because there are probably going to be some really seasoned investors on right now. And if you are already closing, just send us your term sheet once you get ours, because so many times I look and there's all kinds of fees, like an extra $1,500 hidden in somebody else's, or even $2,500. It's good if we can see where they're sitting on rate and points, because we want to beat them if our niches don't already beat them, and make sure that you are getting the best, absolute best in the country for what we do and the best cash flow. So would you agree that making an extra $50,000 every few months on a flip, that your general contractor, you can, tell them, go do all these things. And they do all the work, and then you sell it and you make 50 grand in a quarter. Wouldn't that be great? So please feel free to chime in the webinar chat if you would like to share anything. Yes, of course. And would you agree that not verifying your tax returns, your employment, your personal financial statements, um, no personal debts being considered would really make the loan process easier? Yes, absolutely. And would you also agree that only putting 10% down on the purchase price, not having to pay for renovation, not having to advance money on your credit card if you're somebody who likes to do that kind of stuff, not having monthly payments, would really help you just focus on the project and make a ton of money at the end of it? Yes. And would you like a private money solution that also provides a refinance option? And so when you are done with your construction, the day of, you would call your executive back and you would say, hey, let me get back, I don't know, 200 grand. If you're dealing in those kinds of numbers, or 50 grand. I just finished, I haven't sold it yet, and I haven't leased it up yet. But can you give me 50 grand? And more than likely, depending on what your current value is, you could get cash right away. And it's before you put the property on the market. And we could waive off loan payments while it sits for sale. So really cool stuff, guys. I hope that would help and that your answer is yes, that would be hugely beneficial. Wouldn't it be great if your listing agent or realtor had an independent appraisal that tells you and them what the fair market value is when you go into the flip? And then again, when you're done with the flip. And so as part of your loans, you would have those. And even though you might end up paying us a point or two, I mean, even though I'm an agent, of course, everyone needs to feed their family. The thing is that if you have an independent appraisal and it tells you that it's going to sell within 90 days for a certain price from a licensed appraiser who's in all likelihood willing to go to court on that, they've already done so much of the heavy lifting. And as a licensed lender, we're able to provide you this really valuable tool. And you could maybe offer them 1%. Of course, they have to put it on market, they have to sell it, but your exit financially is actually, you can control it a lot better, especially in this market where values are, we don't really know. People and agents, people want to ask too much and then they sit on the market, or they want to do price reductions too soon and then all the buyers are like waiting for the next price reduction. If you knew what it was going to sell at from an independent appraiser, if you let it sit for 90 days, maybe it would be smart just to not have to make payments for 90 days or 12 months and have cash in your pocket, list it, and get that offer because you have some level of expert confidence from an independent appraiser. Hugely beneficial in this market. Wouldn't it be great if you could shop on Zillow or with your licensed realtor right now, and then just call your Templeview account executive, and in 10 minutes, they ask you, a couple questions, and they can tell you the likely profit the same day or the next day. They might have to jump online and check out a few things. But yes, I mean, absolutely. Why should you take 8 hours trying to figure that out if you can just call them and we have a tool that does it and we can let you know, because we are literally making you a loan based on that information. And so wouldn't it be great if they could give you, this is your account executive here, a proof of funds letter, and you could make $50,000 on a flip that you're not doing the hammer, right? You're having someone else do that unless you love doing that. But every 3 to 4 months. And so you can really get this going, and every quarter, find a pocket in the country that you like. Hopefully it's near you so you can go out and see the progress. But basically, I actually was in a conversation and watching some conversation with some people where that's what they were talking about, is in their first year making 250, and then now they're helping people do the same. I don't think you need to pay a guru. We are here for you. We have the money, nearly unlimited capital, guys. And we want to give it to you, and we want it to make sense for you, because if you are successful, then you'll come back and we can do another one for you. And so once you do one with us, let's do another and another and another, and you can have another job. Okay, the next step is simple, or you could golf or do whatever you want to do. Go to Tahiti. The next step is simple. So if you are ready to get started, please book your 15 or 30-minute call and get your own personal term sheet. Just give JJ or the person who invited you an idea of what you're looking at. We do need to know the location because we lend in major metros or suburbs. So that's important. But if you can like just pick a street and say, this is kind of what I'm looking at, then they can look on Google and they can give you some numbers. And so are you ready to take that next step? I hope so. Please take a screenshot if you haven't already and circle back with the person who invited you to this webinar. Or you can contact JJ VanderJagt at jvanderjagt@templeviewcap.com or by phone or text to 928 302 8485. So bonus, I would like to share with you guys, actually my favorite loan program right now is Bridge. Flip is amazing. Flip, there's a construction component, right? Bridge, there's no construction component, at least not during the time of the loan. So when we talk about our 3 other loan products, and if you are a real estate agent or you're a builder or you're a flipper or you're a landlord, which is probably everyone on this call, and you would like to either get into something really fast or get cash really fast, then Bridge at Templeview Capital is going to be the best thing. You don't need to have any experience. There's pretty much just an appraisal and a credit report. There's no scope of work. There's no renovation component. There's no draws. It's just, I want to pick this up for 20% down, and then I'll decide later. I mean, you do have to know if you're going to refinance out of it or if you're going to sell. Maybe you need credit repair. Maybe there's some mortgage rates or something. Maybe you don't have permits yet for something that you want to do. And so it's the fastest way to get into something. And then also if you want to get cash out or just refinance, maybe you're waiting a little bit longer to see if rates come down. But basically, Bridge to Success is so great. Do it before you go on market if you want to go on market. That way you get that independent appraisal that I was talking about, and you get the cash and you get the no loan payments on your bridge loan. And then if you want to go on market, you can negotiate with a realtor to list it because, maybe, you don't have to list high. You already know what it's going to sell for. I mean, you have an independent appraiser who's willing to go to court probably that it'll sell for that. Certainly we are taking that when we give you a loan. So that is a great product. Ground up construction is perfect for building homes in your local market or adding units, doing tear downs, adding ADUs, so like granny flats in the back for cash flow. And then of course DSCR loans, which for us, we do vacant. That's a huge niche. I don't think anyone does that. Let me know if you know of someone. We do long-term rentals and then we do short-term rentals. And so those have niches inside of them. I'm really kind of curious if anyone here can tell me what the difference between a private money loan is and a hard money loan. Does anyone know? You can put it in the chat. Okay. Well, I will tell you. So a hard money loan, you can actually look this up, is a finance and foreclose model. At least that's what it says when you look it up, and it has a negative connotation because usually those loans are going to be 6 months and then there are hefty extension fees. And at some point they stop extending, and in this kind of a market where you've got to get the property is maybe going to be on market for 90 days or even longer because we're in a balanced market in most regions in the country right now. That again is why you would want our bridge loan. But basically hard money, the higher rates, the higher points, the shorter terms. Private money, which we are a licensed private money lender, we lean longer term. So 9 months, 12 months, 18, 24. There's no price difference, at least not with us. Because we want you to be successful and we have no interest in foreclosing on your property. We would like you to sell it or refinance it into one of our other loans or into some other kind of a loan, pay us off, and then come back and do another one and make more profit. And so you're in and out of these unless you plan on holding them for 30 years, in which case we have that 30-year rental loan. So that is the difference. Now, bridge loans, just really quick, because I know that it's getting, I want to respect your time. Bridge loans, let's just say on all of our stuff, we're starting around 8.5. And then our points are around 1.25. So that's where we start. Up to $5 million on short-term stuff, which is bridge, flip, or vacant renovation and ground up construction. Again, actually for bridge, we're going to be sitting at 80%. So we will update this slide, but we're going to be 80% for purchase and there's no construction component. Advanced draws are going to be for flip. Don't worry about it on bridge. And so for bridge, up to $500,000 cash in hand. You gotta love that the minute that you build the property, if you're a builder, and same thing if you're a flipper, or you have a rental, or even it's just vacant. You just have a vacant place, and you're like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I need some money. Okay, perfect. Well, we would be the perfect lender to call. So get an appraisal, make no payments, accept an offer anytime. If you want to sell it, no prepay on that stuff. Ground up construction. What's really cool about our ground up construction, you guys, is that you could do a purchase or a refinance, and you're looking at 75% financing on the dirt, and then we want to do 100% financing on the construction again, and then we also want to finance your loan payment. So there's normally a larger acorn when you do ground up construction. Now you do need to have at least one ground up construction of similar scope on your track record as either the general contractor or the owner of the dirt, okay? And then we have to talk about a couple other things like, have you done some flips? Do you own any rentals? Do you own a primary? Ground up construction, there's a whole permitting process, right? And so if you're currently a builder, you would definitely want to contact us because you could make money on owning the dirt. So anyway, that's ground up construction. It's really awesome. Most lenders require 50% down, where we only do 25% down. And then of course we're financing payments if we can fit them in. So DSCR landlord loans. This is, you want to buy a vacant property and there's no construction. It's pretty much turnkey. Maybe there's a little bit of stuff that you're going to do afterwards. Cool, it's not even leased. We can do 80% on that. No landlord history. You'd be a first-time landlord. Maybe pick up 2, 3, or 4 units. Of course, cash flow is always nice to have on those extra units, but single families welcome. 75% financing for cash out, just like on bridge. And then on DSCR, we cap at 2 mil because it starts getting really interesting with rents if you get over a $2 million rental property, unless you are in Beverly Hills or something that warrants that. So long-term rental, we do sub 1 DSCR. We do have, a couple things that we look at on assets. Short-term rental, you need a 1 DSCR, which means that you're cash flowing neutral. And so if you were to get a 12-month ledger from the person that has the Airbnb, and you can see it's all nice and pretty on Airbnb, and they print it out and it says we made $100,000, then you would have a 12-month ledger. And then, your short-term rental, those are normally nicer, right? Like they're nicer neighborhoods. So we're looking for it to be break even on those, but we have no other income or employment for you. And so you're just picking it up based on either vacant and long-term rents that the appraiser tells us, or it's a short-term rental and there's a 12-month ledger of how good it's been doing. And those rates start at 5.25. We do price matches, that's with buy down, but you're locking it in for 30 years. So imagine knowing the rules, because we know them, and having unlimited money to dominate a jointly favored real estate market, and where you don't have to make payments on flip or vacant renovation or rehab, home construction, adding an ADU. So your cash flow is so much better with us. Also, funds to close is a lot of times a lot less because you're not having to show reserves or bring reserves in. So the next step is simple. If you're ready to get started, of course, please call the person who invited you or drop them a text or an email and say, hey, I want to spend 15 minutes. Give me an example term sheet or a real one because I need you guys to wire me some money. And so are you ready to take that next step? Of course, you can get with JJ as well. So if you can't stay, although we're almost wrapped up here, again, just take a screenshot. Bonus number 2, really I want to impress upon everyone, that we want to make sure that your debts on your credit, your personal credit, refinance those off and lift up that credit score, please. Because all of your credit card payments should come down pretty substantially. And then, of course, your future home mortgage and things of that nature. If you're looking to pick up inventory, you guys, I do want to let you know that we do have access. We have our own foreclosure list. And so your account executive can send you that link. You can just bookmark it. And then every month we have inventory that we own. Unfortunately, people, investors, heaven forbid, they pass away or something happens and, they're not able to finish that project. And so we can, without the red tape, if you're interested in it, we are happy to work with you, our EVP, and sell you that property. And so we can talk about price and things of that nature. So who here wants a higher personal credit score and to make more money right now? I hope everybody. All right. So with that in mind, book a call with JJ or the person who invited you to this webinar. And we look forward to working with you very, very soon. Have a wonderful day.
And we do have a couple questions in the chat.
Okay. Yeah. Happy to take them. So let's see. So Kelly, I actually am not able to see that right now. Do you want to just go through them one by one?
Yeah, so major metro area, can you elaborate? My town has 36K people.
Yeah, that's fine. So we're looking for generally over 10,000 people in the city, and you'd probably be fine. It's just, are there comparables is what we're looking at. And also, we don't do anything more than 10 acres. So sometimes we get into spots, right, where it's farmland, and so we would stay out of that kind of stuff. Next question.
That no pre-penalty is in most states, but applies in some states, right?
Yeah, so we just go by state laws. And so they can change as I'm just letting you know, but pretty much it just depends on the state law, which we have them. We have printed guidelines, and our lawyers, of course, just keep track of all that. There are, I think, half a dozen states that you're not allowed to do a prepayment penalty in. And the only time that we have a prepay anyway is on a 30-year fixed loan. And so you would be able to pick if you want a 5-year prepay, a 3-year, or a 1-year, depending on what your exit strategy is, or your refinance strategy, unless, of course, the state does not allow you to even have a 1-year. And then as far as our short term, which is going to be flip or vacant construction, or I'm sorry, vacant renovation, ground up construction, or bridge, there's no prepay.
And then the last one, how might your lending criteria differ from buy and hold projects?
Well, a buy and a hold would be our DSCR loan. If that's what you want to do, just hang on to it for 30 years. You could do an interest only option for the first 10 years if you want to have the option to pay less. Some investors do that for Christmas. But yeah, so buy and hold, we're happy to do that all day long, and just contact JJ or the person who invited you. Our rates are really, really good. We don't want to be beat on anything, but in particular buy and hold stuff.
And that was it.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone. Hope that you have a wonderful day, and please reach out so that way we can get you making money.